The Philippine National Police reports that around 23 people die each week in anti-illegal drug operations. Meanwhile, the PNP stresses it will abide by the Constitution on the possibility of military junta against the Duterte administration. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
Around 4,410 people were killed in the government's anti-illegal drug operations from July 1, 2016 to July 30, 2018 based on the report of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. But through the recalibrated Oplan Tokhang, the Philippine National Police says the number of fatalities went down to 23 per week from December 2017 to July 2018. According to PNP spokesperson Police Senior Superintendent Benigno Durana, this is significantly lower than the 105 weekly deaths on the first 3 months of the Duterte administration.
As you can see, we are continuously, policing. A war on drugs, a recalibration of war on drugs is more. We can be tough on crimes, but at the same time, we can be humane as well, and making sure that human rights and the constitutional rights of those drug dealers or drug pushers are observed.
And though it has implemented some changes in the program to launch less bloody operations, the PNP still has to defend itself from backlashes on the government's campaign against illegal drugs. The PNP still has to defend itself from backlashes on the government's campaign against illegal drugs.
Just like in internal security operation, we lay down our lives. The enemies of the states were killed in the process as well. This is not heaven. This is the real world. That people will die in the process. That we have the authority to protect the rest of the Filipino people from the scourge of illegal drugs.
Meanwhile, on the issue of possible military junta to overthrow the Duterte administration, the PNP agrees with the Armed Forces of the Philippines in vowing to abide by the Constitution. The PNP adds it supports the presidency of Duterte, especially because the Philippine National Police is more empowered now compared to previous administrations.
As far as the Philippine National Police is concerned, I think that has also made clear by the Armed Forces of the Philippines. We will follow the what's written in the Constitution.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Metro Manila Development Authority threatens to file charges against arrogant motorists who assault enforcers when they are flagged down for violating traffic law. Monokson tells us why.
Several videos of irate motorists arguing with or assaulting traffic law enforcers went viral in social media. These are just some of the things that traffic law enforcers experience, aside from being exposed to elements and pollution while performing their duties of manning the traffic flow. According to Traffic Constable Medel Humalon, their task is never easy because working under the heat of the sun is dangerous to one's health. He cited his experience of having his blood pressure shot up while on duty, which later led to stroke. It affected Humalon's speech and his manner of walking.
Matagal pang mag-retiro eh. Kaya pang magtrabaho dahil yung mga anak ko maliit pa. Kailangan ng pira para mag-aral nila.
Humalon laments they do not deserve to be mistreated by motorists when they are just doing their job.
Dapat sila magkalma lang sa mga pag nakulit sila, relax lang. Ipakita ang lisensya kung anong violation.
According to lawyer Emerson Carlos, a former MMDA general manager, acting rude or arrogant against an enforcer constitutes a traffic law violation which carries higher penalty.
For example, binugbog mo yung isang traffic enforcer because he is a public officer, a person in authority, magiging direct assault ang crime mo, hindi na physical injuries. A direct assault carries a higher penalty.
Moreover, traffic law enforcers are also human beings whose fundamental rights should be recognized and respected. MMDA's current General Manager Jojo Garcia says they are prepared to file charges against anyone who will resort to violence when flagged down by their enforcers for violating traffic laws.
Kung alam nyo man, nagkamali kayo, magpahuli po kayo, magpatiket kayo, napakasimple lang po ng penalty. Kesa po ganyan. Kailangan pa namin mag-file sa LTO saka sa DOJ. Maapektuhan po dito buong pamilya niya.
MMDA is also not denying there are abusive traffic law enforcers, but it assures these erring personnel are dealt with accordingly. Mon Hocson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Fans, politicians, and entertainers remember the remarkable career of music legend and the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, who died after succumbing to cancer. Here's why from Beverly Saison.
Tributes are pouring in from the worlds of entertainment and politics for Aretha Franklin, the U.S. singer known as the Queen of Soul, who has died at 76. Franklin performed at inauguration events for 3 U.S. presidents and was a powerful advocate for the civil rights movement. Bill and Hillary Clinton said in a joint statement, for more than 50 years, she stirred our souls. Barack Obama said her music had helped define the American experience. Fans further afield have been paying their respects at New York City's landmark Apollo Theater and on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, leaving flowers and gifts and singing along to her hits and sharing memories of her remarkable career.
Well, I grew up with Aretha in the late 60s, early 70s. I loved her. And my mom bought this album back in 71, and now I have it. I love her. Gospel, secular, everything. She was the queen.
Someone like her, she transcends the genre. I mean, yes, she was the Queen of Soul, no doubt, but she transcends soul. I mean, it's available for everybody. That voice is it. You just feel it. It's just soul. You know it when you hear it, It's like you can't download that app.
Aretha was diagnosed with cancer in 2010 and announced last year she was retiring from music. The singer died at her home in Detroit, surrounded by family and loved ones, her family said in a statement. Remembered for hits like Respect and I Say a Little Prayer, Franklin won 18 Grammys and had 17 top 10 U.S. chart hits over a musical career spanning 7 decades.
Well, it's always wonderful when you can make a contribution and you can help people. So I love that. That's what I'm about.
Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
And for our Personality in Focus, attorney Glenn Chong reveals that what transpired with former Senator Bongbong during the 2016 polls mirrors what happened to him when he sought for re-election as a congressman in 2010 and who he thinks is behind the alleged 2016 election fraud. Charlie Barredo tells us more in this report.
Tanggulang Demokrasya spokesperson Attorney Glenn Chong stated that he will tender his evidence if given another chance to prove that fraud in the automated election was committed. Chong, who represented the Lone District of Biliran, was elected as a member of the House of Representatives and held the position for 3 years before he lost his re-election bid to Rogelio Espina, in which he believes the election process was rigged. Given what he went through during his re-election loss in 2010, the attorney revealed who he suspects spearheaded the alleged 2016 election fraud.
Ang sagot ko dyan is, who would have been in a position to do that? Do you think the opposition can do that? They would not be able to do that because hindi naman nila hawak ang COMELEC at Smartmatic. Who would be in control of COMELEC and Smartmatic? Si Andy Bautista. Because he was chairman at that time and look where he is now. He's hiding. Bumalik ka dito sa Pilipinas, Andy Bau, harapin mo yung Senado, harapin mo kami, and that's the only time you can prove na mali kami.
Chong, who has been questioned for his credibility, clarified that he is not a supporter nor the attorney of former Senator Bongbong Marcos.
It would appear to be na parang nagsaside ako kay BBM because in this issue naman kasi ang issue ko po ay dayaan sa halalan, which is parallel to the narrative of BBM.
Chong emphasized that him being the victim of the automated elections in 2010 mirrors exactly what happened to Bongbong Marcos during the 2016 polls.
Because si BBM was overtaken by presumptive VP Robredo around 3:26 ng umaga. The next day po, di ba? Naubos yung lamang ni BBM na 943,045 votes. So, by around 3:26 ng umaga, umangat na po si Ginang Robredo. Ako naman, noong 2010, Na-overtake din po ako ng kalaban ko at 5:46 in the morning of the next day.
The lawyer stressed that he has no ill feelings towards Vice President Robredo and his tirades are just all about the elections.
Personally, wala ho akong objection sa kanya. If you will look at my posts in Facebook, in social media, wala ho akong personal na patama sa kanya. So, kung sino man ang nadaya, then doon magtutugma talaga yung narratives namin. But in this case, ang nadaya si BBM. So, yun, magtutugma, and I would appear to be like that. But in fact, it's not. I will just present the facts, and it's up to the public to make their conclusion.
Charlie Barreto, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Manila Airport authorities have extended the closure of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport runway up to 5 in the morning Saturday amid struggle to lift the Xiamen Air jet out of the runway. According to Manila International Airport Authority General Manager Ed Monreal, they have already rented 200 and 500 tons of telescopic boom cranes to lift the aircraft after the flatbeds they initially used did not work out.
Pag pinasok ko namin yung panghatak, wala na ho kaming pagkakabitan dahil yung nose wheel nag-collapse, pati ho yung left engine nag-collapse din. So wala akong paghahawakan at na dapat hatakin ang eroplano palabas.
The Xiamen Air jet skidded off the runway on Thursday evening, but all of its 170 passengers are safe and are currently staying at a hotel in Pasay City. Authorities are still determining the cause of the incident that has resulted to flight delays and cancellations, stranding hundreds of passengers. Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture, or DA, assures there is enough rice supply in the country amid speculations of shortage prompting high prices of rice. According to Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol, the high prices of rice in local markets began when the NFA rice ran out of stock. During a meeting with rice industry stakeholders earlier, Piñol reported that the current overall buffer stock is enough for nationwide consumption of up to 45 days. He explains that there were delays in deliveries of imported rice due to port congestion and days of monsoon rains. And though the rice millers have assured sufficient supply and that there is no hoarding of rice at this time, the agency still has to validate such a statement.
And validation would mean the inspection of their warehouses with the warning that anybody caught hoarding rice will be prosecuted and the stocks will be confiscated.
And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. live from Hong Kong. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, William. A new regulation will soon allow residents of Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan to apply for residence permits in the Chinese mainland. A document released at a press conference held by the State Council Information Office on Thursday said the regulation will take effect from September 1. With the permit, residents from Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan will be able to enjoy more rights, basic public services, and other conveniences related to their study, work, business operation, and life in the mainland. Plumes of smoke rose from the ruins of a collapsed motorway bridge in Genoa on Friday as a small fire broke out in one of the businesses close to the ruins. Fire brigade services say the fire was immediately controlled after it was extinguished with water cannons. Huge concrete sections of the bridge plummeted onto several warehouses situated below the bridge when it collapsed on Tuesday, killing at least 38 people. Emergency services are still searching in the rubble for 10 to 20 people reported as still missing. A state funeral will take place for some of the victims in Genoa on Saturday. A top-ranked medical school in the U.S. is offering free tuition for all its future and currently enrolled students. Clarence Shaughnessy tells us why.
New York University School of Medicine announced on Thursday free tuition for all its current and future MD students, regardless of need or merit. NYU's initiative comes at a time of affordability has become an increasing urgent issue in higher education, with some graduates struggling with thousands of dollars in debt.
When you look at the average medical school debt that students graduate with, it's getting to the point where it's impacting the physician workforce.
Rafael Rivera, a school's associate dean for admission and financial aid, said free tuition will attract students who may be scared away by the school's $55,000 a year tuition cost.
So if they're in high school or college and they're thinking about what they want to do, they think medicine would be a great career choice for them. They love the material, but they see that number, they're like, well, maybe I should think of something else. And to me, that's a loss for society.
According to the Association of American Medical Colleges, about 1 in 5 private medical school students graduate with debts over $300,000 US. NYU is the only top 10 ranked medical school in the US who offer free tuition. Rivera said he hopes other schools will follow their lead. To sustain free tuition program, NYU said it has raised $450 million US of the $600 million US needed. However, students still have to come up with the roughly $30,000 US needed for room and board every year. Clarence Shaughnessy, UNTV News and Rescue, New York, USA.
Indian authorities have shut down the main airport in Kerala state as rescuers race to save more residents. Meanwhile, newspaper editorials across the United States launched coordinated defense of press freedom and rebuke against President Donald Trump. Kath Carriedo tells us why.
In India, more than 100 people are thought to have died in devastating monsoon floods in India's southern state of Kerala, the worst in almost a century. Rescuers battled torrential rains to save residents, with nearly 150,000 reportedly left homeless. According to the state government, many of those who died were crushed under debris caused by landslides. With more rains predicted and a red alert in place, the main airport has reportedly been shut until the 26th of August. In Peru, a LATAM Airlines passenger plane that departed Lima for Santiago, Chile, on Thursday was forced to land at an airport in southern Peru due to a bomb threat received by Chilean authorities. Peru's Transportation Ministry said no one was injured on LATAM Flight 2369, and a team for deactivating explosives has been notified. The Chilean Civil Aviation Authority said a total 4 planes made emergency landings in Chile and Peru. And in America, hundreds of U.S. newspapers on Thursday launched a coordinated defense of press freedom and a rebuke of U.S. President Donald Trump for denouncing some media organizations as enemies of the American people. The Boston Globe and the New York Times took part along with more than 350 other newspapers of all sizes, including some in states that Trump won during the 2016 presidential election. The Globe said it coordinated publication among the newspapers and carried details of it on a database on its website. Trump has frequently criticized journalists and described news reports that contradict his opinion or policy positions as fake news. On Thursday, he tweeted, "There is nothing that I would want more for a country than true freedom of the press." Kath Carriedo, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Stephanie C., live from Hong Kong. Belgian flower growers bested the summer's blistering heat to lay out thousands of blossoms on the central square of Brussels in this year's edition of the world-famous flower carpet. Here's why from Jovic Burmas.
As Europe endures one of its hottest summers on record, Belgian flower growers laid out 500,000 flowers on Brussels Central Square on Thursday in this year's world-famous flower carpet. Organizers were worried the heat would kill off the flowers, but cooler weather offered the event a last-minute reprieve. Organizers were once again able to arrange an 1,800 square meter flower carpet on the city's landmark Renaissance Town Square, which this year drew inspiration from the Mexican region of Guanajuato. In the carpet's design, a bird commonly found in indigenous Mexican embroidery is surrounded by illustrations of Mexican fauna and flora.
It's gorgeous. It's very folkloric. It's a very beautiful representation of the beauty of Belgium. I think the colors that they used are fascinating.
The flower carpet dates back to 1971 when Brussels councillors were impressed by similar arrangements in the neighboring Flanders province and decided to bring it to the city. Since then, the carpet has been laid out every other year, attracting tens of thousands of visitors. Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue, Europe.
Meanwhile, Taiwan opens its Shuangxi Park in Taipei to invite visitors to take photos while balancing on a giant water lily leaf. Castro tells us why.
Visitors to a Taiwan park took on various poses while balancing on a giant water lily leaf on Thursday at Shuangxi Park in Taipei. The annual event, organized by Taipei City's Parks and Streetlights Office, aims to promote this rare species and educate the public. The Victoria water lily leaf can only take on a maximum of 65 kilograms, so the participants were mostly children and women who sat on a plastic seat that protects the plant surface from damage. Visitors had to be fast to take pictures as they only get 60 seconds on the leaf.
Very happy, because sitting on top makes me feel like some sort of floating classical beauty. Originally, I was worried that my child would be scared. I didn't imagine that he would be excited and at ease after stepping.
The cultivation of the giant water lilies in Shuangxi Park has entered its fourth year. PSLO Horticulture Division Administrator Lin Chaoqing said that pests and high temperatures made their growth from seedlings into full-size plants very difficult.
Currently, the challenge in maintaining the giant Victoria water lilies here at the Shuangxi Park is that there are many snails and that we have to fight off pests. For example, cutworms. If we don't fight them, the leaves will be cut off while they're still small. There will be many tiny holes in the leaves, rendering them unable to grow.
Originally native to the tropical regions of South America, giant water lilies were introduced to Taiwan and are now cultivated in Tainan and Taoyuan. Castro, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news August 17, 2018. On behalf of Angela Lagunsad and Angelo Castro III, I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.